Dave, we made it through another regular season in high school football. Now we go on to the playoffs. Week 1. First of all, give us your Week 9 headline.
For the last week of the regular season, I'm going to go with J.D. Vandenberg. He's a senior tight end for Pawnee. He had kind of a tough situation. He had to sit out Week 8, which was senior night for Pawnee. There was a little scuffle at the end of Pawnee's game against Gillespie the week before, and J.D., well, depending on who you listen to, there was a situation. He got ejected from the game. It was the end of the game. He had to sit it out. But he came back last week against Auburn, had 6 catches for 117 yards, all in the second half. Caught a couple touchdown passes for Pawnee. That's putting it in the that's putting it in the air a lot for Pawnee. Ball control. They had to do it. They fell a little short against Auburn, but I just thought he came back from a tough situation and had a big performance for him.
That's a good one. We'll start Class 3A playoffs, Athens, and no, that's 2A. 3A, we've got Pawnee, Pana, and Macomb.
Pana and Macomb, that's going to be Friday night. Macomb out of the West Central Conference, a little more conference realignment. They're 6-3 this year. Pana 8-1.
And on a roll.
They're on a roll. Their only loss this year, 9-6 to Carlinville in overtime. So they could
in
easily
Week 1.
Very early season.
Week 2,
very early season. But they could easily be 9-0. And Macomb, they played a pretty tough schedule in their conference, but I think Pana, barring something unusual, should win that. If they do, they could get a rematch with Greenville, who they knocked off early, in the South Central. So that could be a big round 2 matchup.
Anything else in 3A we need to talk about?
Well, North Mac, which has been kind of a fun story this year.
First year of the
consolidation. They did lose a tough game here in Week 9, last minute situation. They lost to Plains, so they're 7-2. Or they're 8-1, excuse me, but 7-2. I will get it right. But they play Camp Point Central, another team from the West Central Conference. Camp Point, that conference in general, they played larger schools more consistently, 2A, 3A size schools.
A lot of consolidations in that conference.
Well, yeah, exactly.
That's what everybody is.
So North Mac, in the Prairie States played generally smaller schools, so I don't know if that'll be a factor or not. But Camp Point is a program that's come a long way just the last couple years. So we got that one, and I was double checking on my 3A. New Berlin. The Pretzels have to go to Carthage, Illini West Friday night. That's going to be a tough game for New Berlin. New Berlin 5-4. Carthage, as usual, 9-0. Just had an exceptional year. They beat Quincy Notre Dame. Jeff Harris, the New Berlin coach, said it's tough just sometimes to find the football when Carthage is running it because they do a lot of fakes and stuff. So that would be a major upset if the Pretzels could pull that one off.
2A, our big one is Athens and Auburn, and that's a Friday night game. They've already played once this year.
Yeah, that's a Sangamo Conference rematch. Auburn won pretty handily earlier in the year. Michael Bates threw for over 400 yards that night. So obviously Athens is going to have to put some pressure on Michael Bates, if nothing else, to give themselves a chance in that one.
Talk about Michael Bates. He moved into number 2 on the all-time passing list Friday night when you were in Auburn watching that game last week.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. Yeah, and he ironically passed up Will Lunt from Rochester. They both over 8,000 yards. Michael, the Trojans would have to maybe get all the way to the state title game for Michael to have a chance to catch the all-time record. The quarterback from Aurora Christian has well over 9,000 yards, so it might be tough for Michael to do that. But nevertheless, he's had a great career.
Go through the rest of the 2As. Who else do we have?
Williamsville and Beardstown. Williamsville plays Beardstown. That's Saturday afternoon. Beardstown, first time in the playoffs for a while.
06.
06. Aaron Elmore is their coach. He's a Hardin Calhoun guy, so they run that triple option type of a thing where you don't know who to key on.
He's a clinician in that. I mean, he has people come to him.
He has his own camps and everything else.
He's good at it.
Yeah. So, but they're playing Williamsville. Williamsville will be at home. They're 8-1. They lost a close game to Auburn. Josh Gentile, the Williamsville quarterback, has been slowed down a little bit with an ankle injury, but he'll be good to go. Obviously, I think you still have to look at Williamsville to be a favorite in that. If Williamsville does win, we could have a rematch of Williamsville Auburn in the second round. That Auburn won 16-14 earlier in the season.
What else we got in 2A?
Another
Redbud.
Well, yeah, Staunton Redbud. Staunton 8-1 going on the road.
On the road, that's hard to believe.
at 8-1 Redbud down by Belleville. Staunton, unfortunately, just not enough playoff points. They were kind of the odd team out in that quadrant, so they're going to have to go on the road. Redbud had a very good year, although their regular quarterback got hurt mid-season. Also, another rematch. Alton Marquette is at Carlinville. That's a South Central rematch. Carlinville won pretty handily the first week of the season. I think they put 3 running backs in over 100 yards. So I like Carlinville's chances in that. If Carlinville wins, they may have to meet up with KC Westfield, who's always perennially strong, currently undefeated, maybe in the second round.
And usually eliminates Auburn in the play.
A lot of times, yeah, like second or maybe third or fourth round.
Yeah.
And then, I guess 1A, of course, a lot of WIVC teams in 1A. Concord Triopia goes up to Leroy on Saturday. They're both 7-2, 2 running teams. I think they combined maybe 50 pass attempts between the two of them this year. So that'll be a quick
9
game.
weeks, yeah.
That'll be a quick game if nothing else. Carrollton, sort of like New Berlin in 3A, Carrollton has a tall order, has to go over to Tuscola. And that will not be easy. Tuscola did lose the one game to Maroa Forsyth, very good 2A team. But it'll be a major upset if the Carrollton Hawks, they're 5-4, could pull that one off. And I think one of the more interesting small school matchups in the area will be Saturday night over in Jacksonville. Pawnee plays at Route. And Route, 8-1, lone loss to Brown County. Pawnee 6-3. All 3 losses to bigger schools, all 3 games they were in it. Maybe against Auburn. Auburn kind of had it in control most of the game, but Auburn still hung with them. They only lost by a touchdown. So I wouldn't be surprised if Pawnee makes it very interesting for Route Saturday night. Maybe that could be our upset of the week. We'll see.
We'll talk about it next week when we relive round 1 of the playoffs and look ahead to round 2.
See ya.